Okay guys, welcome to another, it's technically a 8 and 16-bit face-off kerfuffle. Yep, you've seen the title, Xenon 2. Now, to read Wikipedia, Xenon 2 Mega Blast is a 1989 shoot-'em-up video game developed by the Bitmap brothers and published by Imageworks for the Amiga and Atari ST. It was later converted to the Master System, Megadrive, Commodore CD-TV, Gameboy, Acorn Archimedes, so I'll see that again, Acorn Archimedes, and Atari Jaguar platforms. The game is a sequel to Xenon and takes place a millennium after the previous title. The goal of the game to destroy a series of bombs planted throughout history by the Xenites, the vengeful antagonists of the first game. Yeah, so anyway, this is the very first version. Atari, I'm basically giving you spoilers as to what versions are going to be coming up. Now saying that, I think there is a couple of versions. Well, there's one version which they didn't actually mention. Now, the first time I ever saw Xenon 2, it would be at the PCW show back in, when did it come out, 1989? Yeah, it would have probably been 1989. Me and my mate Ian went down to, I think it was Earl's Court, and yeah, this was the game that was making all the noises, quite literally, with music by A Bomb the Bass. Not my cup of tea, I have to say, but you know what, still damned impressive. So yeah, it was the Commodore Amiga one that I played. Spoiler, I'm not a big fan of the game, I'm really not. But anyway, as we kind of wind our way through this video, I will explain why I'm not a big fan. So yeah, this is Atari ST one. Got to say the title track sounds pretty good. Oh, there's a bit of loading going on, what you expect. Bit of decompacting going on, I'm imagining. Get ready, player one, and here we go. Now, you know, as far as games go graphically, this is up there. I mean, it's a beautiful looking game. It's, I was going to say it's very Geiger, it's very organic. You've got, it almost looks like something you're playing underwater. Quite parallax scrolling with the stars in the background, or is it in the moon? I imagine it must be in space. Yeah, but it's parallax scrolling going on. Like I say, the actual backgrounds are very detailed, very nice, you know, impressive. Now, a couple of things that I'm not a fan of this, what I don't like about this game is, and this is obviously a restriction on the hardware. That actually, I never ever think that systems that have a sort of a landscape perspective like this, they don't make for the best shoot-'em-ups, especially vertical shoot-'em-ups, because you've got very little time to react to the to what's coming on, because obviously the screen's not very high, so you know, before you know it, they're on you. In this game, I don't know whether it's because the graphics are so detailed, whatever, but it just, shoot-'em-ups to me have to be quite slick affairs, and I just find it quite sluggish actually. And the difficulty level of this game is just, I'm not going to say ridiculous, but I find it way too difficult. I mean, you've got these snake centipede things. Now, let's have another quick wee go. Yeah, let's continue. I mean, the gun you get to begin with is quite frankly crap. It's just not, it's not up to the job. It's fine shooting you know, kind of big baddies, but you try and shoot these little centipedes, it's just, you've just not got the firepower there. and you don't get any power-ups. The only way you get power-ups in this game is when you reach a certain point in a level, you get to go to a shop and buy stuff. So for the first, until you reach a shop and get some credits, yeah, you basically destroy baddies, get coins, or bubbles, or little kind of bubbly things, and they give you credits. Yeah, that's just, it's just too difficult. Yeah, these little bubble things. Now, I'll be honest, I recorded the gameplay for this video probably about 6 weeks ago, and I'd quite simply forgotten all about finishing it. So I'm just talking over a previous gameplay I recorded. So you know, I can't really talk in real time as to what the controls are kind of feeling like. But yeah, when I was making this video, I do get frustrated just with the sluggishness of the game. I don't know what kind of frames per second it is. Yeah, it's not bad. The sound's pretty good. That's Atari ST one. Now, who knew the Master System? Never ever played this one before. I am expecting there's going to be a bit of cut down in the graphic ability. It's not going to look as nice. Right, now I don't know, as I'm doing the talk over in this video, there's a bit of stuttering going on. I don't know if that's coming across in the actual video, hopefully not. What can I say? I'm pleasantly surprised at how decent the graphics look. Yeah, they've not got that final kind of shine of, you know, the Atari ST one. And it's also got, I'm going to say, a decent rendition of the original. Well, I suppose it is. I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, this is pretty impressive. I don't know where the Master System sits as regards to kind of processor power compared to Atari ST or the Amiga. I'm really not sure. If you do know, please pop your comment down below. Now, did the Atari ST one have horizontal scrolling? I don't think it did. Maybe because the graphics are slightly chunkier looking, and by no means at all are they chunky, but they're chunkier, or chunkier. To fit it all in, they've had to kind of incorporate some scrolling, sideways scrolling. Now this plays slightly differently from the Atari ST. So enemy baddies. Yeah, there's a bit of glitching going on, as you can probably tell, but again, that's just down to the hardware. The interesting thing, when I make these these games where I play like 20 different versions of the game, it pretty much puts me off playing these games forever. These little things look like German biscuits. Like I said, I never even knew this version existed, and to be fair, it is impressive for what it's actually doing. Let's see if we can actually reach the end of the level. Now, one interesting feature of this game that I don't think, other than Juno First, a feature that it incorporates is the ability to actually pull backwards, pull back in the joystick, and you basically pull the screen, you start scrolling backwards. You can do that in Juno First, and you can do it in this game. It's not something you get, it's very common. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the reason this game sold was two things. Firstly, the music. It was one of the first games that I can remember to have an actual proper band make music, and that was a big thing back in 1989. The second thing is the graphics for the time were pretty jaw-dropping. When you saw it, you were like, wow. You know, when you look at the games that had sort of come before, getting to see a game that looked this detailed was pretty damned impressive. Now you don't, or at least I don't get the wow factor with this version. Is it my imagination, or does it play slightly slower? Possibly. Not a bad thing. Anyway, that's the Master System. Right, moving from the Master System up to its big brother, the Sega Megadrive. Slightly more refined graphics. Excuse me. It's done away with the sideways scrolling, probably because it's got the detail in the graphics. Now, one thing that I've just noticed is the lack of music. Even the Master System version had the music. Now, maybe there's an option. It's possibly turned off as default and you've got to switch it on, I'm not too sure. Yeah, these little centipede worm things are just insanely difficult to kill because you just quite simply don't have the firepower. Yep, there's little German biscuits, which I mentioned earlier. I'll pick up the little... You need to make sure you pick up these little bubbles because that is how you upgrade. I don't think this looks quite as nice as the Atari ST one. I don't know what the amount of colours Atari ST could have compared to the Sega Megadrive. I thought, if anything, the Sega Megadrive would have better colours, but it's not bad at all. But yeah, it definitely misses the music because that was a big thing. That was a massive part of the sort of the wow factor of this game. I mean, I'm absolutely caning these guys and I'm just not defeating them. Now I think this is a memory game. In other words, you know, all the baddies do forum. Sorry, not forum. They follow a predetermined path. So, with enough practice, you should get better at this game. I'm absolutely hammering these centipede things, and they just refuse to die. Right, have you got better firepower, possibly? Or maybe I'm just hammering the fire button a bit more, I'm not too sure. Right, at least we get to the shop. That's a nice little touch. Turns the sound off in his Walkman. Right, so what do you want to sell me? That's all I've got, so sell presumably. Right, I've not got anything else, so how do we come out? There we go, exit. Right, what do you want to buy? Ah, right, okay, that's a bit daft. I've just sold the only weapon I had. Yeah, which is a bit stupid. Super Nash one is like some big massive fuck off. It's basically, I think you get everything. You get all the guns and everything, but it makes your ship so big that it's. I think it only lasts a short time actually as well. So it's not really something you want to buy. You can buy health. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's possible to get any more than the weapons that we looked at there because you're only one level in. Yeah, that was a bit daft selling my rear shot. Yeah, lacky music, I think, is a big thing. Because whilst I wasn't a fan of the music, I mean, it was a massive part of the appeal of the game. The sound and the graphics. But it's quite slick. There's not any real noticeable slowdown, which is nice. The scrolling is really good. So, anyway, that's the Sega Megadrive one. That was basically the theme tune to a PCW show that was getting blasted out the speakers everywhere. Again, whilst it's not my my scene, it is impressive. You need to remember, prior to that, well, we had the SID chip, which is just damned awesome, but that was probably the most impressive bit of Amiga music up to that point. I think it's definitely been surpassed. Right, okay, interesting to play this one. This was the one that I did play. When I say I didn't play it a lot back in the day, but I certainly played it. You see, there you go. You've got in-game music. I don't know why the Mega Drive couldn't have done that. This does feel slightly snappier, certainly than the Atari ST one. Again, it's not silky smooth. I don't know what frame, 20 frames a second possibly. I don't know. It's not something I ever really noticed back in the day. I just remember it. I don't know. I just remember thinking it felt a bit lethargic, a bit slow. Being lucky enough now to be able to play games in MAME and what have you, you realise that you do have to have quite a good frame rate. The controls need to be super responsive. Interestingly, when I was making this video, actually, this was rated one of the best Amiga games by Amiga Power. I just wasn't a fan of it. German biscuits. Or I think they were called Empire biscuits. It depends what bit of Scotland you came from. Yeah, I mean, playing it now, it always looked impressive. It really did. It always did look good. But it's just something I just can't quite put my finger on why I don't like the game. I've never really got on with it at all. I just think it's just too difficult. Like that. on, let me kill one worm. Ah, can't. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, I don't know, the screen just feels too cramped. Go on then if I have to. And the annoying thing is when you die, you do get pushed right back again. Even the music, whilst impressive, it kind of gets on your nerves. It's very, very repetitive. I actually find the music quite annoying. You know what, there is probably an option to turn it off. I'm just too lazy to look for it. Yeah, this one does look slightly more polished. I think this was probably the first version to come out. Anyway, listen, let's move on. We've seen enough of that one. That is the Commodore Amiga one. Let's crack on. Right, there you go, from one 16-bit behemoth to the Game Boy. Yeah, who knew? I never realised this came out on the Game Boy until I did a quick check. Obviously, it's going to have it's going to be cut down. I mean, the backgrounds are quite nice. I've not got that thing in the background, which doesn't actually add to the game at all. It's something that this version's got that the Megadrive one doesn't have. Music. Yeah, it's a lot simpler, as you would expect. This goes to show though, in the right hands, people can really push hardware. Obviously, for the purposes of making a video, I'm playing this on an emulator, so the screen is going to not blur. I don't know how this would have actually transferred across to a real Game Boy. The problem with the Game Boy was the screen would blur when there was any scrolling. But it was never to the point that a game became unplayable. Again, as I said, the graphics have always been a lot kind of simpler looking, as are the little kind of power up bubble things. Yeah, a shop no less. Right, what do we want to buy? Don't know how much money I've got. 700 credits. I thought I bought that Super Nash one thing. Obviously I didn't, because I'm sure it just, when you buy it, it just automatically kicks in. I think it's on a kind of timer basis. You've even got the kind of plants at the side getting animated in that as well. You know, I think so far, from an impressive point of view, this is probably the most impressive. It's definitely not the best version at all by a country mile, but you know, when you consider the hardware this is running on, it is it's pretty impressive. And it kind of makes me think, could we not have had an 8-bit version? You know, this effectively is 8-bit graphics, so I don't see there being any reason why we couldn't have had a Commodore 64 Spectrum Amstrad version. That would be nice to see. I am surprised they actually decided to convert this, because, as I said, the original game, it was all about the graphical beauty. And the sound, and you're not going to get the first one on a black and white handheld. But you know, I think what they've done here is pretty damned impressive. What the hell these are? Oh, extra power, that'll do. Right, anyway, I think that's quite enough. That's the Nintendo Game Boy. Let's batter on 3 versions left to look at. Now here we go. This is the MS-DOS one. Let's go for VGA graphics. That doesn't sound right, does it? Now this was a version that didn't appear on Wikipedia, and I was quite surprised to see this actually had a release. Right, okay, first things first, the music is obviously a way off now. I'm guessing that is not to do with the conversion being rubbish, but more to do with the fact that it's running under emulation, is it DOSBox or something, so that's probably what's causing that. Though I have to say, off the bat, it looks nice, and the scrolling is absolutely top notch, and even the movement, it just feels that wee bit snappier than even the Commodore Amiga one. I think you'd really need to play them all side by side and to actually have a shot right after each other to see just how they stand up, but this certainly feels that wee bit nicer. These little baddies, little orange things, they look like the wee baddies you get in, I think is it Phoenix? No, it's not Phoenix. What is the game? It's not Galaga. Oh, what is the game? Is it? No, it's not Phoenix. I can't remember. There's a shoot 'em up that's got little baddies that look like that. Is it possibly not Galaxy, Galaga 1990? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. I'm going completely off topic. Yeah, the sound is pants, but again, that'll be down to the fact that if you're playing it on a proper PC, I'm sure it'd be absolutely perfect. These infernal caterpillar things. I defy anyone to get past these without losing a life. Seems a bit unfair, that bubble floating over the landscape, but you can't actually pick it up. Yeah, you know what? There's one thing they could have done about this, one little change they could have made to this game, and it would have made it a lot better, just giving you better firepower from the off. I mean, it's the same every time you get to this shop. You really can't buy anything more than what you've got. Right, let's try and buy that Super Nash one. Right, come on this time. There we go. Yeah, right, okay, that's the Super Nash one. You can see there, you've got it for 2, 1, 5 seconds. What is the purpose of that? I mean, seriously, you tell me what the purpose of having a Mega Blaster gun thing for 5 seconds. Utterly pointless. Yeah, it's just wee things like that that just niggle me about this game, and it's just made me not like it. I mean, I love shoot 'em ups where they've got different graphics and that kind of stuff, and it makes you want to play them. But this one, there's just too many wee irritating things. I'm sure I did cheat at this game back in the day and complete it, and yeah, it doesn't get any easier than this. It just gets harder. But as I said, it was voted one of the top Amiga games. So it could just be me being grouchy and bad tempered and sour grapes or whatever. But yeah, this version looks just as good. I mean, I would say so far, from a looks point of view, the Amiga, this one is absolutely up there. Again, maybe if you saw them side by side, there would be some differences. But anyway, right, that's enough of that. That is MS-DOS. Let's crack on. Now this one, technically maybe shouldn't be included in this for the simple reason was this was a sort of homebrew. This was ported years later after the original came out. The original came out in 1989. I'm not 100% sure when this came out. It might tell us here, but it did come out. It wasn't a Kickstarter as such, but it was a kind of homebrew, and you could buy the cartridges for it. Now right away, I don't know if it's my imagination, but you seem to have firepower does seem that wee bit better. Looks wise, it's up there. But I think the big improvement for me with this one is the fact it just seems to play that bit snappier. It does seem quicker. Is it going to make it any easier? I'm not too sure. It's just a shame that the Jaguar never got this when it was released, because I mean, yeah, it does look good, and as we all know, the Jaguar sadly had a very, very short life. Not helped at all with the fact that the marketing by Atari themselves was completely abysmal. It was actually a very, very capable machine. Yeah, these pain in the arse fucking centipede things don't get any easier. Yeah, it definitely has made it slightly less impossible, because you definitely got a better rate of fire there. Though I still die. As much as I like the Jaguar, and I mean I do own one, the controller isn't the greatest. It's not a great thing. It's not a joystick. It's a kind of gamepaddy thing. It's not good. And even with this blistering firepower, it still makes it very difficult to destroy these, whatever they are, I don't know what they are. Yeah, just whatever. Come on, how do you get out of that? Come on. Bollocks. Just anything. Right, anyway, that is the Atari Jaguar. Right, and thank God, the last version, because I'm fed up of playing this game. This is, you can see there, the Acorn Archimedes. Now again, I didn't even realise that was ported for that machine. The Archimedes was a computer, I think I'd be right in saying it didn't sell particularly well, which was a shame, because I think it was kind of on a either on a level or at least maybe slightly more powerful than the Commodore Amiga. I don't know if it had the same kind of custom chips, but it was it was a bit of a powerhouse, but it never sold. There was so few games were released for it, and I think again, like all Acorn hardware, it was expensive. Now this has probably got the best use of music. It looks good, it's snappy. It's got sound effects and music, which is nice. Interesting to know how many copies of this game on Archimedes were sold. I bet it was very, very few. Hey, I've killed a centipede. I'm still trying to remember what game is it. It is Galaga. It is Galaga that you get these tiny little baddies coming down the screen. Oh, shop. I'll have some of that. Yeah, the sort of first choice of stuff you can buy in the first level is very limited. It's all pretty nafty ones. You just want a, you don't want more energy. You just want, you want a slightly better gun. There you go. Oh, I'm talking pish. I said 5 seconds. You actually get it for 10, which ultimately is still pointless. Absolutely pointless. Right. Anyway, listen. I think I've seen enough of this game, so I think we'll move on to the summarising part. Okay, from memory, what did we play? Atari ST. It's nice. It's got decent sound. It's it's not super smooth. The Commodore Amiga one does look a wee bit better. The sound is a bit slicker, and I think it plays a wee bit better. Master System one is quite impressive. I was actually very impressed with that. Not the best version at all, but from what was kind of termed an 8-bit console, it played well. Bit of kind of graphical kind of glitching. What else did we have? The PC DOS or MS DOS was really impressive. Yeah, the sound was crap, but I think that's more to do with emulation. Though saying that, it's possibly, yeah, the sound wouldn't have been the PC sound hardware back in 1989 wasn't on a par with either the Atari ST or the Amiga, in my opinion. The Mega Drive one, it was all right, it was okay, but where's the music? Where is the music? Game Boy One is impressive for what it's actually doing. You wouldn't, it's not the version you'd want to play, but you would have a bit of fun playing that, in the car or on the train, whatever. Um, the Jaguar one is really nice. It is really, really nice. Again, it's a modern version. It came out, I don't know when it came out, but it certainly came out a good number of years after the original game sort of debuted. And the last one, the Acorn Archimedes, super impressed with that one. It looks slick, it looks the part. It seems to play a wee bit quicker, and the sound is really, really good. So, let me think. It's a close one. It's a close one now. When I do arcade, not when I do 8-bit face-off kerfuffles, I don't do third, second, and first. I just pick the one I think is the best. It's quite a close run thing between the Atari Jaguar and the Acorn Archimedes, in my opinion. Both excellent, but I think I'm going to go with the Acorn Archimedes for two reasons. One, I think the sound is slightly better. And secondly, it did come out back in the day, so technically it's only right that that one wins the version. So anyway, listen guys, that is it. I never want to play Xenon 2 ever again. I still haven't changed my opinion of the game. I think it's overrated. It looks nice. I'm not a fan of the sound, whilst it is technically proficient. I'm not a fan of the sound. I don't like the game. But anyway, listen, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching.